Okay, guys, we're back. This is part two. It just was too long. The 45-minute video takes me at least an hour to upload off my computer. So, if it ends up being an hour and a half total, it'll take fucking half a day. Okay, so let's see, where were we? I haven't worked this fear out to its root yet, but I think if you haven't watched part one, guys, I suggest you go watch part one before you finish this out. There is a part one to this. I haven't worked this fear out to its root yet. See, he understands. He hasn't gotten to the root yet. But I think it's the fear of the unknown and of taking responsibility. Yes, and child work will open those doors for you, Ronan. I think it's like you said, it has to do with my ego still wanting to hold on, which is why I'm still searching outside and giving into the fear. Man, you're right on, dude. You're right on. You already have the answers. You know. So hopefully this validates these things for you so that way you can see, holy fuck, I really do know what's going on. I just got to trust myself because I fucking got this. That's all this is for. That's, guys, share your stories because this is how powerful it is. I can't wait to hear these people's updates, man. I mean, we saw with Jennifer and with peanut butter pancakes, as they shared, other things came to the surface. They were able to figure other things out immediately. Guys, by doing it, being brave and courageous and honest like this, in taking personal responsibility and putting yourself out there like this, it opens up doors to your healing. It allows deeper introspection, that's what we need to do. We need to get to the core of it, because otherwise we're just treating symptoms and then building back up egos. I can only rely on myself, but I'm not trustworthy right now. You are. I'm not even sure what my own intuition even is, as somewhere in my life I went into my head and started to live out of my thoughts, mind, and the other programming. See, you're recognizing, that's the thing though, you're recognizing all this. You're recognizing all of it. I'm telling you, this is all related to child work that you're having a hard time, because you're recognizing all this, but you're not accepting the obvious that you're stating, because it's so foreign to you. And that's why it comes from childhood work, guys. That's why that's one of the most important first steps in this is child work. You have to get that alignment. You have to find that peace inside of you. You have to heal that inner child that was abused and traumatized. You have to quit saying that your parents were great and that you had a great childhood and that you can't, there's nothing wrong with your childhood. This is where it all starts, is in childhood. And that's why we have such a hard time healing. If you're not dealing with that simple aspect, the baseline aspect of it, then you're not going to, again, anyways, putting band-aids on broken legs. So yeah, he went into his head and just relied on his programming and quit, even trying to get in touch with his own intuition. And that is the essence of a mindless minion, of a slave-minded zombie, because you're just running off your well, I haven't been taught that yet. That program's not there. Let me get that program in there. Okay, let me watch and see. Find an expert. Oh, that's how you do that. Okay, now got that program. No, that's the thing, guys. When I first found, okay, I'm not going to go there. What I want to stress here is that this knowledge that we seek outside of ourselves, it's fine to seek knowledge. Like if you're trying to build a house and you never built a house before, and you need to know how to install the plumbing, and you need to know how to frame out the house, and you need to know how to put the roof on, that's fine. You got to go find a fucking expert for that. That is the material knowledge. If you don't know how to do calculus, of course you're going to go and fucking take the steps and learn calculus and go to outside experts and sources. If you're going to learn how to be a hairdresser, you're going to go and find out how other hairdressers are doing it. If you're going to learn how to be anything, guys, that's what I'm trying to say. That's how they keep us trapped in this shit, because all of this shit is superfluous. It's all bullshit, all these occupations, all of it, it's all horse shit, 100% horse shit. It's all made up for the construct. All this materialism, all this consumerism, all of it is just, it's meant to keep you in the hamster wheel and climbing the ladder. Oh, I got to climb the ladder of success. I've got to go outside myself for knowledge. I got to prove that I'm worthy by remembering fucking shits. That way I can get diplomas and pass tests and get diplomas and get certificates and degrees to be able to do things. It's all superfluous. Look, the only thing that matters is what we were innately born with, the knowledge that we were innately born with, which is the ability to communicate together. We are in communication with everything, plants, animals, anything biological, guys. As us being whole souls, as drivers of this highly advanced physical avatar, biological physical avatar. We are the biological physical avatar is our connection to everything else biological in this world. That connection has been deadened. They cut that connection. They have deadened it inside of us. We still have it. It's just we don't have access to it because we are, like he said, he got out of his intuition and went straight into his head and only operates out of his head, out of the programming in his head. That's how it works. And see, what they do is they deceive you by telling you, oh, well, the experts say you need a good balanced diet and nutrition, and the best, you have to eat animal products in order to get that. And so what they're doing, which is a complete lie, you don't need fucking animals. You don't need to eat dead animal flesh, dead other biological beings' flesh in order to survive. That is complete lie. And there's a huge underlying purpose in that, and I need to make a video on this, and I've been putting it off because I feel like I'm not ready for it, but I just need to go for it and do it, because this information really, this perspective on how this works needs to get out there. So what they're doing by getting you to consent to eat animal flesh and bamboozling, putting that program in your head that you need it for your nutrition, is so you've cut off from your intuition. Your intuition knows, wait a minute, these animals are being slaughtered. I'm eating dead animals. What's wrong with it? But instead, so that is so far down low. So we're running off of here, and we're just running around justifying everything we do. Justifying, yeah, I eat all the animals in the world. I'm a hunter. I eat animals. These motherfuckers trying to tell me not to eat animals. I eat animals all fucking day. And that's the cognitive dissonance, because deep down in our intuition, we know we shouldn't. And the reason they get us to eat animals is because they know by ingesting animal products, what it's doing is putting a barrier between you and your humanity and what it means to be human, which again is a barrier in between you and your soul. You are strengthening the ego. The ego is like, yeah, animal products, they taste great, they give me a rush. So there's so much more to that, and like I said, I need to make a video. I will. It's coming soon. Well, I got really off track, but it's all tied in, guys. I hope you're seeing how all of this is tied in. I'm not even sure what my own intuition... This is so cool, man. Dude, Sky, you are so on it, man. You're on it. I'm not even sure what my own intuition even is, that somewhere in my life I went into my head and started to live out of my thoughts' mind in the other programming. Perhaps over time I will learn to trust myself by learning what it means to actually love myself. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 100%. I'm actually not sure what love really is, and that is a breakthrough, because all these cocksuckers running around out there telling their kids they love them, telling their girlfriend, boyfriend, this person, that person, they love them, and then they go and say, I love my fucking car, I love my house, I love my purse, I love my fucking this, I love money, I love entertainment, I love this sports star, I love it. They've got us so fucking confused and so fucking far off from what these things actually are, that they've got us killing purposefully, intentionally poisoning and killing the one person we should love the most, which is ourselves, and then going out there and gaslighting and fucking virtue signaling that we love all these other people and everything else. It's all trauma bonding. We're getting to the root of everything, guys. But dude, you're breaking through here, and in that admitting that you don't even know what love actually means is so powerful of a step to take, dude. It sounds like you're still in that dark hole. You just need to go deeper in that hole. Embrace it, embrace it, embrace losing your eyesight and your ears and everything else, and just go up. That's how you learn to trust your intuition, which is yourself, which is your soul. Thanks again for your efforts and for creating this space for us to share. I don't have anyone else to talk to about this stuff. See, and that's the thing, guys. All of us, every single one of us, are stuck with these so-called family and friends, these toxic Agent Smiths that are around us that want nothing to do with change, nothing to do with facing these issues, because either they haven't hit rock bottom and their egos are so fucking evolved that's, they're scared. Guys, you got to understand these people are toxic. That's why it's so important to cut all these motherfuckers off, because again, the Matrix will use these motherfuckers just like Agent Smith does in the Matrix movies, and will inhabit them and make them say and act and do things around us and to us and in our ears to get us to question our sanity, question our reality, go back and see doctors, join back in the bread and circuses, join back in all this shit, because without our attention, the Matrix is losing its power. It needs us. You are the most important thing on earth, because this fucking thing relies on you, that it's going to do whatever it can to get you back. I feel so alone because I have no one else to talk to about this stuff. And that's why what we are doing is so important, by sharing in this community here and branching out, because it's going to give us strength, and it's going to reinforce and validate these things and get us to trust in ourselves more and connect. I mean, none of us know each other physically. We have never physically met each other, but we have connected in ways that 99.9% of us have never even had these deep of connections and talks with our most supposed loved ones, friends and family that have supposedly been there for us our whole lives, but can't even have these fucking real ass conversations with us. And I have a hunch that I'm not alone in that regard. That hunch is correct. I'm glad you've reached major breakthroughs recently. Okay, so I'm going to read my response. Hey there, Sky. What a powerful story of survival. I will certainly be making a video on this and expounding on many things you've revealed here. If you don't want me to just let me know, and I will not. But your story is very relatable and will help others see they aren't alone in their struggles. And again, I've already started making these videos. I sent him this reply already, but then I went straight into making these videos because this is so powerful. I mean, I couldn't help myself. So I started uploading them, hopefully, and I will. If he sends me a message and says, Richard, I'd rather this be private, take it down, I will immediately. And that goes with anybody else. And if you want to share your private story with me, and you don't want me to share it out loud, and you want me to keep you anonymous or keep your name out of it, or you don't care if I share, just don't say, your handle, your handle on YouTube or your name, that's fine. Just let me know, and I can share your story, and we'll get it out there. And again, you can always reach me by email, richardswink@icloud.com. I respond, guys. I'm a human. I'm a roofer, for God's sake. Earlier today, I was cleaning gutters out and installing gutter guards on a client's house. I'm a common man. I'm a fucking bottom of the barrel, blue collar, fucking, work my dick off slave. I mean, I'm just like you guys, no different. I struggle fucking in every area, and I'm healing. I'm being honest and open and taking care of shit, and getting to the root of things and not putting band-aids on broken legs. By sharing openly of ourselves and taking that plunge into the unknown and having to trust a complete stranger with intimate details, I would definitely say that's a breakthrough in trusting yourself and your intuition that will bring you more confidence and open more doors to further introspection and healing. I would share your story with the intention of encouraging and inspiring others. I would suggest doing child work and healing your inner child. Childhood trauma and abuse is so pervasive in our society. Those who think they have great parents have to understand that their parents are, at the core, agents of the state. They name, number, and catalog us into slavery systems at birth. They allow the state to inject us with toxic heavy metals. They abusively teach us how to ingest poisonous, toxic fake foods, how to entertain and distract ourselves with mindless propaganda called TV and music. They enroll us into state indoctrination centers and ensure we are passing compliance tests and falling in line, and on and on. And and they make sure that we can join the workforce, and they teach us how to save money and put our attention and time towards money. They teach us how stressful this life is, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta do what you gotta do. They teach us how to fall in line. They teach us how to fit into these toxic societies. They teach us how to conform. They teach us how to deaden our intuition. They teach us how to deaden the soul. They teach us how to build our egos. They teach us how to survive. They teach us all of these things that are completely against their responsibility, which was one thing, to give us a safe space at birth. And beyond that, they should have given us respect, care, sanity, love. But how are they going to give us any of that when they never even got to experience it themselves, and they didn't have the fucking balls to try and see what that type of healing is or anything else? They kept themselves numb and dumb with dopamine hits and breads and circuses, and it's that simple. Guys, I'm telling you, this is one of the biggest fucking things, if not the biggest thing, to get at the root of the issue with our problems. Otherwise, if you think you're just going to skim across and take everything else and use all the other healing and just go, I know my childhood is the way a childhood is. Yeah, it's just a childhood. You are missing everything. And what you're going to do is you're just going to build back up an ego. It could be the same ego and you just build it back better. Or it could be a completely different ego. Or it could be many alter egos. Guys, I told you, watch my video from a year ago when I first started realizing what this stuff was. I realized I had at least hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of alter egos, all of them were made through trauma and abuse in my life. All the experiences in my life having to conform and deal with the situation and survive. And those are, you call them chameleons. They can adapt to any environment, any situation, be around anybody, fit in, and all of that comes from a highly adaptable ego that and it's dangerous. They are very dangerous, those egos. The fact anyone would deny that this is abuse, what our parents did, again, you might say your parents are great, but you can't sit there and say that. If you're going to admit what I just said and then say, yeah, but my parents did what they could, you have Stockholm Syndrome. You are not addressing the issue. The fact anyone would deny that this is abuse is a testament to how powerful the mechanisms of control are. And you got to understand, this is a system put in place. This is all on purpose. This has happened on purpose. All history, the timeline of history is fake. It's bullshit. It's a narration. It's a script. It's written by the winners, and it's fucking, this Matrix narrates it. It's all false, guys. You got to quit thinking, well, back 100 years ago that, this is how it worked. Oh, well, back 500 years ago, well, we've been, parenting since the dawn of time. It's all of this is bullshit, guys. You got to get rid of all of this. It's all propaganda and programming to keep us perpetuating and propagating the system that it feeds itself. We're feeding the same system that's abusing and killing us. It's that abuse means misuse. The literal definition of abuse is misuse. They have so skewed these words that they literally, for the non-critically thinking individual and the downloaded, programmed individual who just goes to work every day, comes home, gets all his dopamine hits, and just does the same thing and lives paycheck to paycheck and just keep on doing the same thing, waiting, someone's going to come and save me. I'm going to win the lottery. Everything's going to be okay. These idiots who keep on trying to manifest shit, and it's all this stupid shit. They have messed with our words to the point where, and got us so programmed that we think abuse, the only abuse there is the abuse against like vulnerable people like women and children, by outside forces and usually by men, and then like terrorist actions, like that's what we call abuse. That's it. Everything else is acceptable. They have all these violent ass sports, violent ass TV movies, and everything else. These violent ass video games that get all these kids completely addicted to, because it is, again, just like with the toxic poisonous food, just like with eating animals. They are deadening what it means to be human. They are at every moment trying to kill what it means to be human, because they know that the soul is so pervasive and strong, and its will is so determined to take back over and heal and change, that they have to keep the programming running 24/7. And these are the mechanisms by which they do that. We are a species suffering from cognitive dissonance. Again, cognitive dissonance, you have faith, belief, and programs in your head, but your intuition is telling you, I don't think this is right, but you don't like that feeling because it doesn't make you feel good, because that means you have to change something. So instead of changing something, you double down and you defend your abusers or your abusive situation. You blame even if it comes to blaming yourself for it, and then you defend your abusers, which this is called Stockholm Syndrome. I'm not bashing on parents, as I am responsible for propagating and perpetuating the abuse I caused on my 3 kids. But to avoid and deny responsibility for such obvious things is what keeps us stuck in illusion and blaming ourselves for everything instead of getting to the root of the issues. Unless we get to the bottom of things and rebuild from there, we are treating symptoms and not the underlying issue. Again, I've had 3 kids. I'm 100% responsible for their abuse, for their programming, for their being addicted to dopamine hits and poisons and everything else. I am responsible for that. Do I wallow? Do I wallow in guilt and shame and chastise myself and slap myself on the back and beat myself up and just go, oh, it's so bad? No. That gets nobody nowhere. It does absolutely dick for them and doesn't do a goddamn thing for me. So what does healing, making the recognizing and accepting things for what they are, being courageous and courageous enough to take personal responsibility and be disciplined enough to do this healing, then I'm align my thoughts, my words, and my actions and live in truth, fact, and reality. And then I do the only thing that matters to my kids, which is by being an example. They don't give a fuck what comes out of my mouth. They've been watching my hypocritical ass for the past fucking 25 years fucking say all kinds of shit and then do the complete opposite. So now for the first time in their lives, they're seeing, oh shit, dad is not joking. This shit's for real. So that way, when I am now the example. That is the only way to apologize. I can verbally apologize, like, oh, I'm so sorry. And that gets nobody nowhere. No, it takes making that physical change, making that change inside, doing the hard work and changing things and being that example. living day to day that example, speaking that example, thinking that example. That is how we apologize. That is how we get through these things. I am not saddled with shame, even though I feel guilty. It's my guilt to bear, and I bear that guilt. I am not sitting with the feelings and the emotions of shame, guilt, sorrow, and all that bullshit. I recognize it, I accept it, and I'm moving on and fixing it by healing and taking personal responsibility, being disciplined, being courageous, and being honest. And to avoid and deny that simple fact of my actions as a father, it will completely inhibit and prohibit their healing. Now, can they do it without me? Am I doing it without the consent of my parents and their recognition? Of course I am. And you can, and my kids could too. But it makes it extremely, immensely harder for the child to do if their parents are sitting there gaslighting and still putting that shame and guilt on them that they're crazy and everything else, and it was all your fault. You were a shitty little kid. You had a demon in you. You were the devil's son, and all of this. You know what I mean? Unless we get to the bottom of things and rebuild from there, we are treating symptoms and not the underlying issue. Putting band-aids on a broken leg. It may work for a while and ease the pain just enough to get back in the rat race and participate again, but not only are we now easier susceptible to infection and further injury, but when that next event occurs, it will take even longer to recover, and we will have more and worse symptoms. I need to do a video on that too, because that's what I did. I've had 4 times in my life, at least 4 times in my life, where I lost everything, and I had an opportunity to heal. And yeah, man, I'm not going to go into that right now. I do need to make a video on that though. I am not a doctor or a psychologist or anything of the sort, but I have a certain type of mind due to my upbringing, experiences, etc., and have insights few seem to have, and even fewer are courageous enough to share, as it makes you look crazy because it's so far out from the typical in-the-box programming we have all been imbued with. That being said, it definitely, to me, appears you need to do some serious focusing on your childhood. There's no doubt in my mind. The fact alone that you don't, if you love yourself, The fact alone that you don't know if you love yourself stems from a traumatic upbringing. Your parents didn't have to beat you for this to occur. The simple fact that they didn't give the safe space you deserved and required, and that they physically did all the things mentioned above, is all it takes for the mindset you currently have to even exist. Yep, because if your parents taught you how to love and what true love was and what caring for yourself was and what respecting yourself is, you would not be having these issues. But because they had no clue what love is and they taught you that selfish, egotistical, lustful love, that's the kind of love we keep perpetuating in this society. And that's why we can sit there and in one breath tell our kids we love them, and then in the next breath say how much we love our car. A healed, whole person would never, ever, that would never even, it's so far out there, man. When I first started my child work, which I had to recognize and accept that there was something wrong first, I looked in the mirror and tried telling myself I loved myself. I couldn't even get the full sentence out, and I started sobbing. I realized at that moment that I had lived for 43 years and never loved myself. And that I would take that step before I started child work. Sit down quietly, nobody around, with a mirror. Sit up straight, conduct yourself, take some breaths, looking in the mirror the whole time, looking deep into your eyes, deep into your soul, and go, Richard, I love you. And see if you can do it. And then don't just say it once. If you're like, well, I did it, I can do it, I love myself. No. Richard, I really love you. I love you, man. You're worthy. You're a special, special person, Richard. You're extremely strong, extremely intuitive, extremely compassionate, Richard. Richard, you're the most empathetic person I know. And see if you can do that, guys. Because if you can't do that, what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to get it out. I started bumbling like a little kid. I mean, I couldn't even say it. Couldn't even say I love you, the very first sentence. And that will open you up. That was a realization. Bing! I had a light bulb go off in my head, and I started my child work immediately. I realized at that moment that I had lived for 43 years and never loved myself. And this was just last year, guys. That recognition and acceptance hurtled me forward on this healing journey as finally I knew I had gotten to the root of the issue and I could start working on true healing instead of treating symptoms. This was just last year. I have it all documented in videos on the Richard Swink channel. Approximately a year ago is when I started that. So much to unpack here. I am going to make a video, but just let me know if you don't want it posted. My suggestion to start opening up the doors to major healing is child work. Now, child work can be a rabbit hole as well, so be careful. Like I said, I have videos of when I started mine from last year you can check out. Since it's so new to you, I will make one recommendation, which I'm always very hesitant in pointing anyone to experts, but nah, guys, I don't want everybody going, oh, this guy's great, I subscribe to him. No, you don't need to do that. Allow people to, if they want to go there, allow them to go there on their own, because we cannot worship. Even though this guy is really, really good, he's not the end-all, be-all. And remember, he makes his money, he makes his living, he lives comfortably off of subscribers and the attention he gets and the clientele he gets and the classes he gives and everything else. So just keep that in mind. It's a rabbit hole. But he does explain things very easily to understand and is, a very relatable, down-to-earth person. I like him, a lot, but, again, he has an ego, and that ego gets built up, man. You got to be careful, guys. So I recommend Patrick Teahan on YouTube, has some really great content. Again, Patrick Teahan, Patrick Teahan, Patrick Teahan on YouTube. Again, just be careful to not get stuck in that rabbit hole. Child work is as simple as this. And before you go running off to look at his channel, I'm going to tell you that I already told you the first step, the mirror. Do the mirror first. This is the next step. Child work is as simple as this. This is what it basically comes down to. And you don't need to go to anybody. You don't have to go to anybody to get any more information. You can use what I'm about to lay out here. And what I'm about to lay out here is all you need. If you are really desiring and hoping for change and doing everything you can and taking responsibility and being disciplined, you can literally do it without any more information than this. But like I said, sometimes we need, because we've been so indoctrinated, we need that crutch. We need that support system. We need to have that validation. And it's okay at the beginning of your journey. So, if you need it, go ahead. Child work is as simple as this. Lay down, close your eyes, and call out in your mind to whatever your name is. His name's Sky. My name's Richard. So lay down, close your eyes. Richard. Hey, Richard. I'm here. But I do it quietly. I don't say it out loud. And what's going to happen is your younger self will appear at a random age. Okay, it could when I first called my inner child out, he was about the age of 3 or 4, somewhere around there. Okay, it's whatever age needs attention first, and then as you do the child, it'll come out at different ages, and all you're doing is giving him attention. The age he appears is the one that needs attention now. When he shows himself, say hi, compliment him, ask what he wants to do, spend time with him. You want to be gentle, you want to be soft, you want to be soothing. This is a scared little kid. My first stage child that popped up was about 4 years old. He was very scared and was in my childhood room, and I was in the hallway. I gave him space, and I asked if he wanted to roll a ball. So he sat in the room, and I sat in the hall, and we rolled the ball back and forth. After a few different times of doing that, he warmed up. So, and by doing that, I mean, a few different sessions of going back in and calling Richard, and he would pop up, and then, he got more comfortable. He warmed up, and eventually I had other ages that came out when I would close my eyes and call Richard. Each age is a different time where you experienced abuse, trauma, or neglect, and you are essentially reparenting and being there as our parents were supposed to, but did not. This is extremely effective. No joke, extremely effective. There are many other things, but if you keep it simple, it will open doors and reveal things that you can't even comprehend right now because you are under a spell or ignorant that they exist, etc. It would be like an aborigine seeing a plane for the first time. Once it's introduced in his consciousness, it becomes obvious and mundane, but until then, it's something he never would have thought of. Yeah, and maybe I'll do I really don't, yeah, maybe I'll do a separate video too and just do a real quick video on exactly what I just outlined there, so that way, people can see that, because it's so fucking easy, man. It's unreal how easy it is, guys. It's literally breaking the programming of always, oh, I gotta have I need an expert to tell me. I need an outside source. I need someone to tell me that this is what to do, and if once we can break that program and trust ourselves, I mean, it's so fucking easy. That should get you started. Thank you for being courageous, open, and honest. As I said earlier, this simple act of reaching out and sharing is a breakthrough. Your soul is knocking and you are trying to listen. It's just there's so much in between you and it, and that ego is so big that this fog needs to be cleared before the communication is going to be clear. And by taking the time, energy, and attention so important for yourself, you are proving that you are worthy and learning to trust yourself. The proof is in the pudding. Looking forward to hearing updates on your journey. Best wishes, friend. Man, and that's it, dude. That's it, Sky. Thank you again so much, man. I really appreciate it. You, man, this is going to touch so many people's lives. You're inspiring, encouraging others. By your display of courage, in honesty and openness, and taking personal responsibility, and your honest reflections, and being so open with everything, and obviously being disciplined, because you aren't you could have had surgery, but you're just standing your ground and being disciplined and determined. So yeah, man, most definitely. And again, like I said with Jennifer, I mean, you're loved. I love you as a human. That is love. This connection is love. This, by giving our attention to each other like this, is love. That's what love is. This is the love we were supposed to get from our parents. Guys, these are complete strangers who have never physically known each other and barely have any communication at all, but have connected on such a goddamn deep fucking level that in the only level that matters, we're so tired of this material and surface level and egotistical horseshit level bullshit, playing games and putting on masks and playing the characters. The people that's supposed to love us, truly love us, our friends and family, can't even have these important conversations with us. So, we are all experiencing now, by sharing and doing this all together and opening up to each other, we are experiencing for the first time in our lives what love is. So, love you, Sky, and thank you again, man, and best wishes to you, brother.